Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled, Her Husband Cheated and Impregnated the Neighbor's Wife. Let's get right into it.
It's been 7 days since I found out that my husband actually has a child with our neighbor. I came home to find my husband's classic car had been completely smashed, vandalized with a baseball bat by my neighbor's husband, because he found out that the child that he thought was his for the last 4 years, including the pregnancy, was actually not his, that biologically it is my husband's child because they were having an affair. Apparently, he's always had suspicions that, she was doing something with someone. He didn't put two and two together, apparently, until after the baby was born, and he is a much darker skin tone man. This child is very fair-skinned and has red hair. I'm going to let you guess who also has red hair. I guess he was on to them, and he found messages. He also found them talking about covering something up, and he decided to have a DNA test done, found out that that was not his daughter, and then was on a mission to figure out what was actually going on and who she was seeing, his wife. I'm not sure how they got my husband to do the DNA test. I just know he's had suspicions that she was cheating. The child doesn't look like him, and the child resembles my husband, especially as she's gotten older. She has favored him even more. So, it makes sense, and maybe he put two and two together because we literally babysat this child. We hung out. We were friends. My husband actually took her husband golfing very fucking often, y'all. This is we all lived in very close quarters. Her husband has since left her and the child in the house. He actually left, you know what I'm saying, and left them in their space, even though he did nothing wrong. It's a woman and child. He did what he felt was right, and he also smashed my husband's car, which I understand. I physically want to do that.
All right, so interesting story we got here today, right? Looks like the neighbor has a 4-year-old that is biologically her husband's daughter. Now, it was interesting what she said about this was the neighbor husband knew something was up because he's of darker skin and the child came out with red hair and fairer skin like her husband. My question is this: is he a red hair, fair skin black man? Or is it a red hair man? And is the neighbor's husband a black man? Because sometimes white people say darker skin and they just mean tan skin, olive skin, that kind of tone they use. So I'm curious about that. I don't know if we're going to figure that out, but part of me thinks there's some interracial stuff going on in here, okay? Anyway, she said that the husband had a suspicion that his wife was cheating, and I guess maybe he didn't know it was going to be with the neighbor, right? But especially because a neighbor used to take him golfing all the time, right? And that's one of the most insidious things about this is that here's a man that you spent a lot of time when you've been cool with. So not like you're just your wife, not just the fact that your wife cheated, but your wife cheated with your friend. You've been betrayed on both sides as the man. I'm thinking about the man, the neighbor, right? As the man, you've been betrayed by your wife and you've been betrayed by your golf buddy. What the hell? Both of them should have had you in their best interests. The guy for the friendship, the wife for the marriage, but they both turned on you. And it just shows you how wild this world is, makes marriage undesirable. And on top of that, they try to cover it up. So they're going to let you raise that bastard child. And it just, wow, man. I don't know how you could trust anybody after this, right? And so him smashing the neighbor's car makes complete sense. I wonder if, the municipality there is going to charge him for vandalism, because that is a crime and a felony at that. So he could become a felon for that vandalism. I hope not. I hope they look at it as a crime of passion. But golly, what do we have here? Let's listen to see why this might be her fault, though. Let's see what she might disclose. Hey, listen up, Safe Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly, you just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
My husband is supposed to come back from his business trip tonight. He lands at like 10 o'clock and he says that he is going to stay at a hotel room to try to, let me blow off some steam and think it over. He's supposed to be served with papers whenever he gets back. So we'll see how that actually ends up going, because he's not going to like that. He's been like going through the motions even since, like just back and forth. Like 1 minute he's like, we can work through this. Like, I know he can be better. Then he starts saying that he knows that I can be better, because he just keeps loving to bring up the fact that like, it's my fault too. It's my fault too, because I wasn't taking care of my wifely duties. Says the same man who like literally won't let me just even be a person without him. If you're a man and you won't allow a woman to express herself in the bedroom, I'm not asking for anything crazy, but like anything that I had found that I like to do, whether it be something that vibrates or us taking spicy cubes, he literally shunned me for it and made me feel stupid. So like, why would you think that, like, of course after a while, like, I'm not going to want to be as intimate as before, like, you know what I'm saying? And it really doesn't matter, because I found out that they've been doing this before things went south with us. Like, I'm not gonna lie, things did become like less intimate, not gonna lie, because of how he treats me and my family and my friends, and isolating me from people. So like, of course it's gonna be an issue, but I still don't think, like, even if I was giving you nothing, I still don't think that's a good enough reason to cheat on someone. Like, but he had been cheating well before the problem started, and there was zero communication, and I don't think that she's the only woman. I don't. He's constantly away on business. He's a wealthy man. He's good looking. He's charismatic. Like, don't get me wrong, there are reasons why I married him.
Ooh, wealthy man, good looking, and he's charismatic. The dream husband for most women, right? Most women want a man that's wealthy, good looking, and charismatic. But here's the caveat to that. He can cheat. And most men are only as faithful as their options. Most men can't turn down punani. Especially if the neighbor keep throwing at you and it's right there, right? You can smash the neighbor and go right home. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this. This is against my beliefs. When you have a covenant with God, you should not break it for some punani, okay? You must refrain and restrain yourself from engaging in this type of sin, okay? This is one of those sins that just seems so awful, right? A lot of people talk about infidelity, like our boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, infidelity. No, that's not a real relationship in front of God, right? There's no covenant with God. The reason why cheating on your wife so bad is because it's a covenant with God. So it's kind of like you're betraying God, in my personal opinion. So we found out some reasons that might be her fault. One, she said they were less intimate. Okay, she said they were less intimate. That might be the case. Okay, I don't know. I am not a family counselor or therapist here, but I would assume if you're not sleeping with your husband, that's risky. Okay, especially if you said he's handsome, wealthy, and charismatic. Okay, that means he could find it elsewhere if he needs to. Now, she said that he didn't let her express her sexuality in the bedroom. That might have been an issue there. She wanted to try some spicy cubes. I don't know what the hell spicy cubes are. I wrote it down because I'm like, what? Spicy cubes? What is that? Okay. He also blamed her on her lack of wifely duties. I don't know if wifely duties are just like the intimacy, or was like she's not cleaning up at home, or she's not keeping herself together. I don't know what it is, but he was kind enough to say he's going to stay at a hotel because he was away on a business trip, to let her blow off steam. So it seems like to me he's a guy that he tries to take people's feelings in consideration, even though he's clearly a narcissist, and I can't say that he's not. But he was at least concerned with the fact that she's going to be pissed about it. He should be worried about his car. I wonder what kind of car it was. Now, let's just read at some of the comments, right? Because this got almost 2,000 comments. Let's take a look at a few here. All right. So the first one says, what is a spicy cube? I've heard it plenty of times, but I can't figure it out. Yeah, neither can I. Okay, and she got a few replies here. Let's see if the replies can figure it out. One person said, ha ha ha, ran here to ask that. Well, someone says, I was going to ask that too, ran to the comments. I came to ask too, so I guess no one really knows. Here someone says, I Googled it, seems to be an over-the-counter herbal Viagra supplement with caffeine. Okay, so it's like a blue chew with a Four Loko. Okay, throw the blue chew in a Four Loko. That's pretty interesting. All right. What else? Someone says, do not leave the home. Make him leave. Once you leave, you lose rights in most states. Wow, I didn't know that. If you leave the home, you lose rights in most states. That seems kind of odd. I never heard of that before. Another one person said, wifely duties is a coercive statement. The duties of the partner are outlined in the vows. Love, honor, and cherish. Marriage is not a license to unfeathered access to a woman's body. Yeah, and that's the part that men, like, I get it. We can't use the court to enforce our wives to sleep with us. But everything we bring to the marriage can be enforced by the court. So the court could enforce us to keep paying our wives, whether that be alimony or spousal support or child support. Everything we do can be enforced, but everything we bring into a marriage can be enforced. But the court can't enforce your wife to sleep with you, to be nice with you, to stay fit. So it's like a unilateral contract, right? It's only enforced on one side, and this is why marriage is trash. Because the woman can weaponize the court system, but we can't. We can't weaponize the court system, right? And so we need women to understand that if y'all want equality, we'd try to figure out a way to equalize this out. I don't think women actually want equality. They want equality when it benefits them. They don't want equality when it doesn't benefit them, right? Like one form of equality could be mandatory paternity tests. But if you check the internet, if you watch a lot of blogs, if you watch a lot of podcasts, women are vehemently against this. They do not want it. And my thoughts are like, why? And I heard one girl said, well, if you trust her enough to lay with her without a condom, then how come you don't trust her enough to be, to be honest about who she slept with? And in my mind, I'm like, it's because of history. Historically, we found out that 1 out of 3 kids that are tested are not the father's not who they thought it was, right? So, and then I heard in France that that paternity test is illegal because if it was ever done, it would create such unrest, civil unrest in the country that it's not even allowed. They ban paternity tests altogether. So if you're French, you're just screwed altogether. Excuse my French. But she has a little bit more here. Let's listen to the rest of it, and then I'm gonna completely respond.
Curious if tonight he's actually going to go to a hotel, because like with his mood swings, he's been back and forth with we can work it out, or I bet you're with other men, or girl, just like your sister, because my sister was going to fly in and stay with me, and I just don't think that's a good idea. The last time he saw her, he screamed and called her because she bought me some spicy cubes. So I just don't know if that's such a good idea. She doesn't really care, but I'm like, I don't know. I found another place to stay here in town, though. So I guess we'll see how this works out. I don't really know what I'm going to do, if I should stay here or if I should just, move somewhere else, where it's too far for him to mess with me. It's been 7 days since I found out that...
She seems a little indifferent about this, no? It seems like she's, kind of unbothered about it. It's, matter of fact. I've seen people, lose their shit over lesser infractions, right? I've seen people just wild out to things that are not as offensive. So I wonder if she's just a mundane kind of, unemotional person, which by the way could be undesirable for your wife. You want your wife to be someone that can get easily excited, easily overzealous, easily full with joyousness. I want my wife to be someone that I don't want her to have low lows, but I want her to have high highs, and then I want her to try to regulate her lows, right? Try to balance it, try to be she could I don't want someone that's just a wall. A lot of women think that men don't want a wall, in the sense of they got to act out because a man doesn't want a boring girl. It's not that we want a woman to act out. We just don't want someone that's just bland, vanilla. I understand she is vanilla, but we don't want her to be vanilla, right? We want her to be more enthusiastic about life, right? I want her to have some kind of vigor towards life. So that's kind of a thing there. I'm not to say that's the reason why he cheated, but a couple last things she had pointed out that he accused her of cheating as well, which I thought was interesting. You know, a lot of narcissistic people do this in general. They'll say that, oh, they'll suspect you of cheating because they've been cheating. So I agree with her that he might have been cheating a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially you're a wealthy man. You're always on business trips. Like, your wife's not fulfilling her wifely duties. Yeah, you know, and then the fact that he calls her sister a whore is just funny because she bought her spicy cubes. Men, let me say something. And this goes for all men. Erectile dysfunction is a real thing. And it's very prevalent, right? 40% over the men over age 40, 50% over the age of men at age 50, 60% over the age 60, and so on. You have to take care of your health. This idea that you're just going to let yourself go as long as you have money is not a great idea. I'm not saying that her husband did this, but no, a lot of men, they optimize for their money only. And you're going to be treated like a simp that way. If you only optimize for your money, you're going to turn into a lick. Right? People are going to just try to get you for your bread. A lot of men, they worry that someone's not going to genuinely like them. And the reason why they say that is because they don't have anything to genuinely like about them other than their money. Have something about yourself that a woman could genuinely like. Charismatic is a good one, right? Learn how to talk, right? I'm writing a book right now. It's going to be titled From Small Talk to Missionary, right? I started the book. So it talks about how you get from just having a conversation and leading into the bedroom. But the bigger thing about the book that I think is going to be fascinating for men to understand that when you talk to women, you don't have to talk about really deep subjects. You can be very shallow with conversation with women. I know a lot of women might hate to hear this, but most women just enjoy talking about simple things. Travel. Who doesn't like to talk about travel, right? I'm going to Africa shortly, and, you know, I realized when I just will mention to people, I could start a whole conversation about just travel. I'm going to Africa. Where have you been? Blah, blah, blah. Small things. A lot of men, we struggle with this. This is one of the things I've struggled with. I've struggled with knowing what to talk to women about. Because you think you got to talk to them about something deep. A lot of people are like, oh, I want deep conversations with my girl. A lot of older men would say that they don't want to date younger women because it's like, what would we talk about? They don't know. They can't talk about anything, right? Like, I want to date a lot. So there are older men that don't want to date younger women. I'm not saying there's a lot. I'm not saying there's many. But one of the downsides for dating younger girls is they're less experienced and you can't talk about life stuff with them. But the truth of the matter is, like, some women don't even want to talk about that kind of life stuff. They want to talk about, like I said, travel. Another thing, pizza. You can literally talk to a girl about pizza. Hey, do you like pineapple on your pizza? What kind of pizza do you like? What do you like, Domino's? Do you like Papa John's? Do you like pizza? Like, you could just talk about nonsense in a way, right? But what I'm saying about that is if you just keep things fun, women will consider you charismatic, right? Even though we have deep discussions here, we hold women accountable on this channel, I'm going to keep it real with you. Don't go home and talk to your girl about none of this. It's not going to turn her on. What's the point? This is where men are a little bit delusional, including myself. I'm a, you know what I'm saying? I can take accountability for it too. Where what we want in a woman, you can only really find in a man. I know a lot of women are going to find that offensive, but men, we can talk about deep conversations on and on and on about that, right? But stop trying to make your girl become like your boys, like your male friends, like your male colleagues. It won't happen. They like to talk about fun and exciting things. And here's the good thing about that. If you talk about fun and exciting things, she's going to associate you with fun and exciting things. That's how women are, right? So don't give them nothing negative to hold on to. No, I don't want to talk about Trump. No, I don't want to talk about the Epstein files. No, I don't want to talk about none of that. I tell girls all the time, I don't trust any politician. I don't care what side they're on, what wing, left wing, right wing. I don't got any wings. You know what I'm saying? I don't even eat wings. You know, shout out to me being plant-based. But either way, I think a lot can be learned from this, right? Men who are desirable beyond their money, because they have charisma, have a lot of optionality with women, right? This man was able to cheat on his wife with their neighbor, like pussy next door, bro. It don't get no closer to home than that. Now, I'm not saying this so you guys can go out and cheat, but if you're a single man, consider that, all right? Work on yourself, improve yourself, get your charisma up. Get your body up, right? Get your money up. That way, women could genuinely like you for you. You could have everything women want. And you're not doing it for women's sake. You're doing it for your sake. So you have options. So you can get a choice of a better wife, a better partner, whoever you want to be with. Anyway, like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos. And I'll see y'all over there.